This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T973.com with Brennan Rikers in for Jeff this week. And Jamie Lent. I'm Chuck Heinz. Come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. We'll take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. The Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I'm going to pose a question to you today that I have not asked you previously.
All right.
Right off the bat, because this question was asked of me yesterday, and I was like, I had not given this any thought. But the question was, what percentage would you give Texas Tech to win the national championship today? Now, bear in mind, you've got to go win the Big 12. You've got to get yourself into position in the college football playoff. You might have to win 3 or 4 games after that. So that's pretty far down the road, obviously. But what percentage would you give it today?
Probably about 10%.
I'll say slightly above that 15%.
Okay. The first number that went into my head, and this may be high, but it's still below 50, was 30%.
Okay, so just real quick for me, just finish out the pie for me.
Finish out the pie for you?
Finish out the pie. I mean, 30% of it's going to Texas Tech.
Right. Oh, so what I would say probably that's a great way to look at that. I hadn't thought of it like that. So, man, I probably have to give 50 to Ohio State.
Okay, so you're at 80% now.
I know. It's making my 30 not look very good.
And so that means that Texas Tech is number 2 on the list.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're better than Indiana. I think you're better than A&M. I definitely think you're better than I think you're better than Oregon, although I'm worried about playing Oregon. When you put it like that, I might go down a little bit. Do you think 50 is too high for Ohio State?
No. I think I'd probably have maybe a little bit lower, but I'd probably, if I was finishing out the pie, I'd probably give them right around there, maybe 45%.
Okay.
Yeah, and everybody else fighting for the other 55%-ish.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah. So that's a logical way of looking at it. I hadn't really given that any thought. I was like, I just said 30%, and nobody said to me, finish out the pie. Well, yeah, that's the proper way to
I feel like it's probably not a question that's been, or a statement that's been made to you before, right? It's not the first time somebody's told you to finish off the pie, right?
No, it is. I mean, it is. It is.
I've been said, hey, yeah, you can finish out the pie. Yeah, give me some of that apple. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you want to finish off the pie? Sure. Yeah. Finish off the pie. Yeah. Right. Finish off the pie.
Does not get my jokes.
Well, I've told you that I'm not good at song artist and title, and sometimes I'm just not good at jokes. Although I do feel like that. When I'm listening to The Bottom Line with you and Choice, and he gives his dad jokes of the day, I don't ever try to finish them and try to do what you do and
figure out the punchline.
I'm just trying to get the punchline, to be quite.
Sometimes that's difficult.
Just to be quite honest with you, I'm just trying to get the punchline. And
sometimes that's rough. Yep.
And I feel like if I can get it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that. Then I feel like, okay, not that I feel smart or anything, but I just feel like Oh, okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
I got that a little bit. How do you feel about tonight with Texas Tech? What percentage do you think you are of being in the top 4?
In the top 4?
Yeah.
I would say I'm 90% confident.
Oh, wow. Okay. I feel like that's a little higher than you were this time a day ago.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm not 100% certain of it, obviously, but yeah, I'll be surprised if they keep A&M in front of you.
And and not have Oregon leapfrog you?
No, I'll be. What did Oregon do last week to make me?
Nothing. I mean, just
to make me think that
they
suddenly
beat USC.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah. What's their body of work? What was the addition to their body of work that was better than what you did this past weekend?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I worry that sometimes the number beside them, the Big Ten or SEC, sometimes gets more, street cred than the Big 12 to a degree.
Well, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
And so that's.
But again, if they didn't put them in front of you already.
Yeah, I think the committee's been rather consistent with not having teams just randomly jump, let's say, with a Tech winning and Oregon winning in the same week. Well, if Tech's already ahead of Oregon the previous week, I don't think they're just going to randomly jump Oregon over Texas Tech.
Oregon beat Washington on the road at the Huskies' place.
And Washington is what? What's their record?
No, they're not very good. It's just it's a rivalry game for them, 26-14.
Yeah, and we beat a bad team too. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we beat a bad team. Well, Washington's 8-4. I mean, they finished. They were.
Okay, so they're decent. They're better than I thought they were. Yeah, that's fair. They're decent. That's not enough. It's not enough to leapfrog you.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, but you just never know when crazy committee all gets together and starts to one person starts to get in there and come in with a bunch of facts, and then the other guy comes in with a bunch of stuff that just throws up against the wall, and the facts guy is always going to win. Let's see. Somebody says this: no way this exercise adds up to 100%. On the fly math isn't Chuck's strength. No, you're not wrong about that. But I just didn't figure Jamie would counter with the finish out the pie. What's the rest of the pie look like? That was really good.
I mean, to answer the question about us, you have to also know where your, where the other points are going to, or what other percentages, however you want to say it.
Okay. So I'll pose
that's why I looked at it that way.
Yeah. So I'll pose it to you, our fine listening audience. What percentage do you think it is heading into this Big 12 championship weekend? It is 6:10 this morning. Not that we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. On the morning drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. 6:15 this morning here on the morning drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Big 12 championship game, obviously Saturday morning. We'll have it for you. We'll have coverage with Optimum Game Day Live on Friday and Saturday. And then the game itself, obviously, with Tech and BYU. A side story that's maybe not necessarily a side story is, what's the future of BYU head coach Kalani Sitaki? Is he really a big candidate for the Penn State job? He was asked that a couple of times in the joint press conference that they had with Joey McGuire and Brett Yormark yesterday. And he's, of course, focused on the task at hand of winning the Big 12 championship. He said, "I'm all about the Big 12 championship and keeping our team focused on that. We're going to avoid all of the distractions." But he apparently is a real candidate, Jamie, for that job. And the KSL, which is the big TV dog there in Salt Lake, reporting that there's a couple of options that, from what they've been told, that one is that BYU is going to pony up and make him the ambassador of the football program and help them provide the resources that they need to be in support of the football program, support-wise, staff-wise. And then the other thing is that there's a possibility that he could leave and go to Penn State and get some generational money for him and his family. And but that would be, I think, shocking with him to go from one end of the country to the other like that.
And to leave his alma mater.
Right.
Yeah, that would very, very much surprise me.
You know, especially for a guy that says he wants to be the Polynesian version of Lavelle Edwards, who was there forever and a day, and the stadium's named after him, or at least the field, some form or fashion of it, there in Provo. So that's one little distraction. You heard Coach McGuire's comment, and we'll get some more from him from yesterday, this morning, about how BYU feels like they left a lot on the field when they played here on November the 8th. And he's like, oh, I feel like we did. We kicked 5 field goals. Yeah, because it could have, with a touchdown here or there, it could have been even worse than what it was. Much worse in terms of the score in favor of Texas Tech, because the final score was 29-7. I mean, it very easily could have been, 40-7 or whatever the numbers. 40, add another.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, I think we talked about it. He kind of left 15 points out there on the board that you could have had or you could have put up there. Could have, but you didn't.
It's just executing. I mean, a little bit better in the red zone, which we've talked about ad nauseum. So I don't know. You walk away. You walk away feeling pretty good about Saturday. It is hard to beat a team twice, especially a team that you just played, barely a month ago. By the time it's all said and done, I'm not sure a whole lot's changed about your team. Maybe you've gotten a little healthier with your quarterback
since the last time you played them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where Barron was at that point, but yeah, okay. Maybe a little healthier, because there was some thought that, I guess that's when the injury news came out about his fracture and things like that. So maybe a little bit healthier. Coach McGuire did say that everybody that played Saturday should be able to play this coming Saturday. So that would include David Bailey, which is, chief among them. And David Bailey's going to be made available to the media today. I don't think that they would make David Bailey available to the media if David Bailey was not going to play. Correct.
So
put him in a position to be out there lying. Yeah, no, you wouldn't do that.
So is he, quote, football banged up? Probably so. But I think probably all those guys would tell you that they're football banged up to some degree when you kind of think about it and getting ready for a game like this. But I mean, this is kind of what you play for, right? I mean, you're going to have adrenaline and it's like, take me up and give me a shot here or give me a shot there, and I'll be good. I'll be good to go as best I can. So, somebody says this off the Yates Flooring Center chat line: once he didn't answer, means he's leaving, I think. Well, I mean, I don't know Coach Sitaki and his innuendos and things along those lines. The thing I'm curious about is what does the Joey McGuire extension look like, and what does that number look like, especially when you start hearing some of these other coaches are getting, because you know that there's a raise and extension coming his way, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, does he get into that $7+ million range?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think you have to worry.
I don't think he's going anywhere either. I do think he's going to get a raise. But,
yeah.
I mean, those are conversations that, aren't that. I mean, the amount of money that coaches are making or players are making and those kind of things, that's just not that. I'm not that worried one way or the other. Like, I know Texas Tech's going to take care of him, And I know he's not, trying to leverage other jobs to get a raise or anything like that.
Doesn't seem that way, right?
So I have faith in both parties that they'll figure it out, and I'm just not worried about it.
Okay. All right.
Good for Coach McGuire.
Yeah, no.
And good for Texas Tech that they found a coach that they really like.
Yes.
It's been successful.
Yes. And, and because, you paid a lot of coaches handsomely for a lot less in results.
Totally fair, but you've also, a lot of coaches haven't had the roster that was built for Joey McGuire that he helped build.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. No,
yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Pepsi.
But that being said, I think Joey McGuire deserves everything he's making, and whatever raise he's got coming his way. I think he deserves it as well.
Yeah. 6:22. By this time tonight, 6:22 tonight or so, we'll have the college football rankings out, and this will be the second to the last, or it's the first to the last. So the next time that come out after tonight will be the final number with regard to who's won and who's 12 and who's going to play whom and who's going to have a home game and who's not going to have a home game. I think we've all said we'd like to see a 16-team playoff next year, right?
Yes, this year.
Well, can't do it this year. Can't make that happen. They could, if they really wanted to. They could, and then that would make for everybody playing a home game at least. You'd have 8 home games, and not everybody would play one, but you'd have 8 home games, and you'd have no buys. Would you like that? No buys?
100%.
Because that just means more games.
Yeah. For those that talk about, why stop at 16? Let's bump this thing to 24. Then we're in the same boat. A team sitting around going, would we rather have the bye or we'd rather have the home game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't want that. Just play football games. It's good for everyone. It's good for the fans, and it's good for the networks and the schools to make money.
Right.
So what's the downside?
I don't know. I don't know why there's so much hand-wringing, it seems to be, as to how many guaranteed teams the SEC is going to get or the Big Ten's going to get. How about if we just choose the best 16?
That would be great, but we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah. It's not reality.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Next, Jamie's question of the day.
Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. Let's assume. How many sit-ups can you do in an hour? That's not the question of the day. Let's assume you win on Saturday and you are the number 4 seed in the college football playoff.
All right.
Okay. So you are sitting back with a bye and waiting for your next opponent that would be like December 31st or January 1st. Okay? You got a while. You're sitting back watching games 10 days prior to see who you're going to face off with. I'm going to throw these teams at you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I would like to know which of the teams you would like to face off with. Let's also assume that they're picking you to play in the Cotton Bowl. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So these are the teams that I think would be possibilities for the Red Raiders. Texas A&M,
mm-hmm.
Oregon,
mm-hmm.
Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Bama. Okay? Because I think it's possible that you could even move up to 3. Okay? And so I'm saying that you could face any of those teams. Maybe it's not a 4 versus 5 matchup. Maybe it's more like a, you know what I'm saying? You follow me?
Yeah.
It's against one of the teams that's not quite as good.
I'm digging what you're putting down, Jamie.
Okay, so which of those teams would you like to play in the Cotton Bowl? In the second round of the quarterfinals?
Cotton Bowl. I don't want to sound like a scaredy cat. I just don't feel like playing Texas A&M in that type of game. Okay?
Okay.
It makes me sound like a scaredy cat, but I'm really not. I'd be like, bring them on. Bring on their tubas and their Texas Aggie marching band and their milkmen and all that kind of stuff, and their white hankies and everything. Just bring all that stuff on. But I think I'd rather play. I don't know if I want to play Ole Miss because they seem like an angry Bandito band right now. Like they're all in the foxhole together, and they're like, nobody likes us. Our coach left us. We're a band of brothers. My other choice was Alabama or Oklahoma. Yeah.
Or Oregon, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, they're kind of like take on Notre Dame, beat a name team. I feel like Oregon's kind of this. I feel like they're a pretty good team. Alabama, that'd be nice to beat them in the Cotton Bowl after we got screwed, 20 years ago playing them. Kind of get back at them a little bit. All that having been said, give me Notre Dame. I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
Give me Notre Dame.
A couple of weeks ago, there was a similar question, and I think my answer was along the lines of Oklahoma because rematch with an old Big 12 foe, and you get to have a chance to get at them again. But when you put out that list of teams and you say Alabama, I mean, right there's no bigger brand in football of the names you listed than Alabama. And the chance for Texas Tech to prove themselves against one of the best, probably arguably the best brand in college football on your own turf and at the Cotton Bowl in Arlington would be awesome. And that would be so big for this program to get that opportunity to prove that, hey, we can compete with the big boys, we can compete with the Alabamas, and not only that, we got a pretty good chance of beating them.
Okay. All right. I liked both of your answers. I totally get why you went in that direction. I suffer from fearing the worst too much instead of looking forward to the joy, in case you guys didn't know that.
Okay.
I suffer from that.
Choose joy, Jamie.
The thought of losing to the Aggies or Oklahoma, or teams that we've played a bunch and know the fan bases and what they're about, I don't want to play them just because of the potential to lose to them. Now, if you were going to guarantee me we were going to beat this team that we were going to play, I would say make it the Aggies.
Give me the Aggies.
Give me the Aggies,
Give me
right?
the Aggies. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for a lot of friends that are Aggie fans, but it would be fun to beat them. I also factor in there are certain fan bases I just don't want to be around. And A&M and Notre Dame would fall into that category.
What about Oklahoma?
Probably a little bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't want to be around them. I think Ole Miss, partly because you think they're going to be this motivated bunch. I just feel like it's going to be a roller coaster for them, and there's so many distractions. I think that might be the easiest win, but I don't want to play a team that we've played recently. So Oregon's out for me too. I want Alabama. I'm with Brennan. I think that would be a blast. Obviously, just name recognition right there at the top. I would say Notre Dame probably has more, but Alabama right there with them. And I just think that would be... I also don't think they're as great as Alabama teams of the past. So I feel like we'd have a good shot to win that game, and it would be fun to match up with a name team like that in such a big game.
The difference, for me with Alabama is that Nick Saban's not coaching them anymore. That to me takes a lot off of their quote brand.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still a big
understand.
brand. It's still a big brand. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And then there is a part of me that just says, "Hey, fighting Texas Aggies, come on, bring it on, fighting Texas Aggies." But I just don't want to lose to them. But
Yeah.
hey, if we beat them, Maybe they can have Aggie-on-Aggie violence against each other.
I mean, looking at A&M's body of work this season, you would like to think Tech has a good shot, right?
I agree.
Yeah, I think he'd be favored.
I think kind of similar. Obviously, the schedules are different, but just kind of similar makeup of the resume for both of these teams. Maybe Tech has some better wins than A&M, but I think you'd have a really good shot. And I think that team would not want to play you at all.
Oh, no.
They haven't wanted to play you in 14
There's
years.
no question. They would absolutely hate that, which is a reason right there to make them want to do it. But, yeah, the thought of walking out of that place after a win would be spectacular. But the thought of walking out of that place with those fans after a loss would be miserable.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. It is 8:02 this morning on the Morning Drive with Brendan Reichert, Jamie Lent. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline. It too is open at 806-771-0973. Speaking of milk, this from our friend Lindale Jeff. I have massive twin boys. We go through 5 gallons of milk a week. Then he offers, and others did too, B&E is breaking and entering. Okay, thank you. I'm not a criminal.
Yeah, I didn't know it either.
You know.
Yeah, when I was high school age and my brother, we definitely went through a lot of milk.
We went through a lot of milk.
Yeah.
But we go through, I'm a milk drinker. We'd probably go through a gallon a week at our house. I'm probably the majority of the milk drinking.
Yeah.
Well documented that I like milk with chili and soup, spaghetti, stuff like that. I had a glass of milk last night.
Seems fine to me.
Let's see. Then we also got this. Mark says, we're milk drinkers. Our family goes through 4 gallons of milk a week. And see, Lindale Jeff, he had to just be the topper there. We go through 5 gallons. I've got massive twins. This, Chuck, the Lady Raiders play your favorite city in Kansas. False, negative. Doodah State coming to town tomorrow. Wheat Shockers. Man, I do not like that school. Do not like that town.
Put them on the list.
I refuse.
If you didn't already have them.
Refuse to spend money in that town. When we go to Kansas City, you got to stop before or after Wichita. We are not spending any money in that town. There's gas on one side and there's gas on the other side. If you got to go to the bathroom, too bad. We ain't stopping in Wichita.
So Kansas State, Wichita State,
Missouri, yeah.
Purdue,
Texas A&M, Notre Dame, all on the list.
Okay.
All on the list. Wichita, the new home of Kansas. Nope. You got it wrong there, buddy boy. I have no problems with new home. That is a false narrative made up by my colleagues here at Double T 97.3, guys that I think are my friends. I'm not really sure. You wouldn't know it by listening to them.
We kid because we love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Chuck, is it cold enough for chili now? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And it is definitely the time of the day where it gets colder when the sun comes up.
Right.
Because I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
It got colder than it was like 30 minutes ago.
I agree.
It's definitely a lot colder right now.
Yeah, it feels chilly in this room. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. It's chilly I think it's like chilly in my office. They're trying to freeze me out of this place. I think they just want me to go. That's what
go where?
I don't know. They just want me to go. It's like we cannot have it be comfortable in this building, at least in my office. Ha ha, ho ho, hee hee, hoo hoo. They're coming to take me away. They are.
This is why I have my own personal heater.
See, I've got one, but they've rigged up the electrical system here that if I plug my heater in, pops off everything. It does.
Well, how big is it?
It's not that big. But I plugged in my heater one time and poof, like half the building went out.
Let's try it again today.
It's just ridiculous.
Awesome.
Did you have too many things plugged
Faulty
into
wiring.
an extension cord? Or?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. 8:05 here this morning on the morning drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. A number of you knew what B&E was. Breaking and entering, breaking and entering, breaking and entering, breaking and entering. Okay, it's like we've got a bunch of degenerates listening this morning. Or just maybe attorneys that are criminal attorneys that have a lot of knowledge. I'd like to play Tulane after they upset the 5 seed. Wishful thinking. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Smart thinking, though.
Mm-hmm. I want BYU and Tech in both play SEC schools, both dominate them. Give us Ohio State. I bet we could beat them. They're overconfident, okay? I'm with JL on the preferred opponents. He said Alabama, okay? Mike wants Alabama because of redemption from the 2004 season. Here's a good question, Jamie. Question. What is a bigger game? Our basketball national championship appearance or an appearance in the college football playoff? By better, I mean more impactful, both short-term and long-term for the program overall.
First off, you're going to answer this depending on which sport means more to you. And then I would tell you, every one of us knows that what happens in football is the most important thing for the athletic department. So it's really not I get that they're not equal. So it's not like you're saying national championship game in basketball, national championship game in football. You're talking about just getting to the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say that gives you way more publicity than playing in the national championship game of basketball.
Yeah, the Final Four. And I think the other thing, too, is with regard to the basketball national championship, you got zero kind of legs out of it because of what happened with your coach leaving and all the drama that took place with that.
Yeah, true.
I mean, because I think if he doesn't leave, that your success is extended a little bit, and you don't have the step backwards that you had. Because the next year you got to the Sweet 16. Could you have gotten to an Elite 8 with Beard, and would you have followed that up with what you followed up with year 2 with Mark Adams? I don't think so. So I think you got a little shortchanged there. Somebody says, LOL, I made chili last night. Good for you. Chuck is the Britney Spears of the building. Sounds like your heater is too old. Nope, it's new. It was brand new.
Chuck is the Britney Spears of the building. So far, the text of December. It is the best text so far this month.
Dear Chuck, we lived in Wichita for years. It is a fine city with a lot of good people and good jobs. Wichita State is a fine university. Ha! And my 6th grader twins are bigger than you. Okay, fine. They can take me. Wichita still sucks.
Chuck's cutting in front of kindergartners. Now he's fighting 6th graders.
You see what really gets
Lindale
Chuck fired up? You see what really gets him fired up?
Yeah.
Wichita, Kansas, and Wichita State. Oh, those poor people tomorrow night, they better know what they're getting into with Mr. Heinz over there.
We don't go through a half a gallon of milk in a month, started buying organic milk. Ugh, that just stinks out loud because it doesn't expire as fast. Ugh, man, there's nothing grosser than organic milk.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Very similar. Very similar. Coming up at 9, you'll hear from Rob Rowe and his band of brothers on the end of the bench on 100.7 The Score, and Dan Patrick and his Danettes on Double T 97.3.
I promise you their show will not be as good as ours today. Promise you.
Both of them? Neither?
All of them. All of them.
That's from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Like when they bleep out the bad words when people say them on TV, When Chuck sings / screams / screeches, Brennan, please be ready to bleep Chuck from now on.
Somebody asked if that was you singing just then. That's pretty impressive.
This, Jamie, for your sake, I hope that Chuck sounded better in person than it did over the radio. Good Lord. I'm with Chuck till that happens.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either. I'm curious.
I'm with Chuck until he starts singing.
Very similar. Very. I could be Michael Jackson. Chuck, does this mean you're not a fan of Glenn Campbell's song Wichita Lineman? Correct. Why can't the power go out when he sings? That rendition could be used by the military for psychological warfare. We could pipe that into BYU's locker room right before they go out.
I got to tell you guys are really good some days. Chat line is thoroughly entertaining today.
Chuck, please keep singing. It sounds like you should go out on the road now. Ha 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 ha. Okay, let's see here. Let's get something from Joey McGuire. He feels like his team has grown since the first game, and he talks about how they have been growing since the first game.
One, we were frustrated. We had a couple drops in the end zone, and then you also go back, I think that next week, not that this changed anything, but, the committee said that we weren't scoring enough in the red zone. I think we've been one of the best teams in the country since that statement in the red zone, especially the last 2 games. But it comes down to execution. They're really not doing anything different than executing at a really high level. And, we do call the red zone the no stone zone, just to kind of mess with Stone. And I told him, I said, I don't want to see him inside the 20. I'd rather, unless he's kicking extra points. And that's kind of been we've even put that on our plan to win, instead of the red zone, touchdowns in the red zone, touchdowns in the no stone zone. And so I think execution is the biggest part.
Well, you're 40 of 68 scoring touchdowns in the red zone, 59%. You are scoring 88%, just scoring in the red zone with getting some field goals. So far this year, Texas Tech successful on 24 of 27 field goals, but 20 of those have come in the red zone. So I'd have to go back and look. But since the BYU game, you've probably done a better job in the red zone, because that was the highlight. That was the low point of not being successful in the red zone when you had to kick 5 field goals there.
Are you all in on what Coach McGuire said, that it's about execution?
No, I think there's some play calling there too.
I do too.
Yeah, I think there's some play calling. I mean, I think there's some execution, but I also think there's some play calling.
Clearly,
there have been some times you've been...
Clearly, there's the execution part of it, because you haven't been dropping the ball in the red zone. Okay, and the other day, Caleb makes a terrific catch, in the red zone. But I think you've mixed things up offensively. With your play calling in the red zone, I think that you have avoided trying to go up the middle so much and just try to play smash mouth football. You've done that some when you get in close, okay, but you're not doing that, in my opinion, as much in the red zone. You are you've been more creative with the play calling and kind of opened up the playbook a little bit. Felt like you were a little bit tight with it previously, and I think you've opened it up, and I think that's made a difference too.
Let me ask you this. This is going to sound dumb. Do you feel like that you've got a between the tackles runner?
I think either one of them are fine running the football. I mean, I think they have a good ability with good speed, with some wiggle to them, and guys that can handle pounding a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily been the running backs' issues.
Okay.
I think it's the fact that you're not a smash mouth team, I think, has more to do with your offensive line.
Okay.
Not the running backs.
Okay, because Taj Brooks was a guy that you could run in between the tackles, right? Absolutely. You can run them outside the tackles too. And I say the same thing about our current backs. I think Jacoby Williams is more outside than he is inside.
I think both of them are more outside than inside.
Yeah.
But I think I don't see them hitting the pile and getting knocked down because they don't have some power to them. I think the problem is that in the red zone, what we saw is they were not creating enough holes. And I think they were loading the box, and I don't think you were mixing it up enough. And I think you're mixing it up a lot better now.
Let me ask you this too, because they used him early on, and maybe it was just the level of competition, and they don't feel maybe as good about him as they once did. And it's hard because when you have guys like Cam Dickey and Jacoby Williams who have gotten 307 of the 481 rushing attempts. But are you surprised you haven't used Adam Hill a little bit on those short yardage carries where you're like 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 2 or something along those lines?
I think that speaks to the point that I just made, that I think they are confident in those two running backs in those situations.
Yeah. You're probably right about that. 8:38 this morning here on the morning drive. He did get in the ball game on Saturday against West Virginia. And remember, like the first 3 games, it was the Adam Hill show.
Yeah, he did good things.
And then disappeared.
And didn't I hear a rumor that they're talking about moving him to linebacker next year?
I think you're right about that.
Is that just a rumor? I don't know.
No, I think there's some talk about that. Yeah, probably because they want to get him on the field because
he looks like a great athlete.
I think Coach McGuire said he's a football player.
Yeah.
He wants to get on the field.
Yeah, sure.
And
those two guys that are leading the charge this year are going to be leading the charge next year.
Yeah, they'll be back.
Yeah.
They ain't going anywhere. Hopefully they've got a multi-year agreement with Texas Tech.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.